Okay. Just want to explain some few things and why I called out the trade for itself on USDJPY today. So this is a list of confirmations that you should always, check out before you take off any trade using the smart money technique. All right. So remember, after you have impulsive moves, you know all that. The basic. After the impulsive move, you are seeing this correction here. All right. So we smart money traders, we don't trade all this. We trade when the market has taken out the highs. You see, this is where retailers put their stop loss. So immediately after the taking out, then you see the big move comes. All right. So the same thing repeats itself over and over and over again. All right. So the second one happened here. Second one happened here. You see the impulsive move. Then we had this correction here. You see how they came here again, took out liquidity, and boom, crashed it down again. All right. So each point the market is making a lower low and a lower high. So the point the market is making a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high. Now the next is the lower low right here. The next low, the lower low, then the lower high. Okay, now how do you determine the lower high? Now, this is our entry. We are in its downtrend because the market has given us a series of lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. All right. So this was the first entry which the market gave for my students. They understand when I mean session timing. All right. So if you're using session timing, you'll be more accurate when you're taking up a trade. Right. Question you ask yourself is, what candle took out liquidity? Was it the London order block that was created, or was it an Asian order block? All right. So if you want to take off any trade, always go with the session timing. We had this up trust here that took out the stop losses before we had that push down. All right. So between this drop and this drop, we have sort of imbalance, and the last up close candle before this down move, it was actually an overlap, which is a London order block, which is stated here on London order block. Now you see how the market is moving correctively. Now pay attention to this zone here, all right? Okay. Now pay attention to this zone here. Okay. You see how the market moved correctively, then went up to this order block right here, closed it off. Then we had that impulsive move down. Now, remember, the order block has to be closed again. So the next point of entry was at this point, it got in at this point. So now this is the next entry for this trade. The second entry was just at the last order block that closed off the last order block on this other side. Okay, so we had this other move here, the second move. Now there's something I want to add to this call, which you haven't heard about on my channel. All right, so I call it the London injection candle. Okay, so after this move here, remember I said take note of this zone here, take note of this area here, and take note of this area. This might be regarded as your classic resistance and whatever you call it, or support. Okay, so now you see how the market traded back to this area, went back again, closed off this last order block, made a new what? Lower high, then came back down. Then you see what happened before the London traders came. What happened? You had this break below here. So at this point, this is regarded as what? The BOS. The BOS. At this point here, we have a BOS. Right. So now having this BOS is not enough confirmation. Right. We have also something that will interest you here. for those of you that love using your trend lines, okay, you're going to put something like this, and then right up here, something like this. Okay. You're going to put something like this, and all they're expecting is the market should give you something like this. Market should break above trend line, then come down to test the trend line, then boom, go up. I guess that's what you're thinking about, but no. Okay, I've seen this move happen severally. So when I saw this move, this was actually the London, I call it the London induction candle. Okay, this candle that actually breaks back inside the structure here, then closes above inside here, telling you, oh, it has broken. The next thing is to test, and we are going for a buy. For those also using the trend line technique, and oh, this market has broken above trend line, then we have to wait for the test. So all these are institutional traps. So this area here, this candle here is regarded as a what? London induction candle. All right. So this happens all the time. It happened in USDJPY. I think that was last 2 weeks thereabouts. I also spotted it, but today's own was so glaring. Around 149, I saw this and I had to put it on my status and said, USDJPY will have a BOS and the London induction candle. So the market is going down. All right. So it was as easy as that. Now, after all this bullish move, you see when the London market opened right here, we had this bullish move inside of this structure again. Where all these moves are actually traps. Okay. Now, I just want to see a confirmation to the downside, and I set my trigger. So this was actually my trigger around this engulfing candle on the 5 minutes time frame. That was where I entered of this trade around here. So let's move down to the 5 minutes time frame after this move happened right here. The confirmation move, confirmation candle, right? Let's mark that box. Move over to the 5 minutes time frame. Right, so 5 minutes time frame. Take note of that box we had there. The 5 minutes time frame was just right here. So this was my entry right here. This candle here, my entry, and my stop loss was just above here. So remember, the trend is a downtrend. So entry was just at this point. Last 5 minutes candle just at 104.750. Right around there, and the stop loss was just right above that, which is about 4 pips stop loss. Okay. All right, so that was the first entry. The second entry was also around this point too. I had multiple entries. Okay, had multiple entries. Okay, that was that. All right, on the 15 minutes too, there was an entry on the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, yes. All right, so the 15 minutes time frame, it's using my the same. It's also aligned with my 5 minutes. With my 5 minutes, you attended my call today. If you call, I did 50% of this move up, so it's still in line with my 5 minutes entry. All right, using the fib on this. Okay. All right, so using the fib on this last push up that closed off this particular order here, going down. So expecting that move back to the 50% of this candle too. So this was where I got another entry too and traded it down. Then you see this move, and also, so we have multiple entries in this trade, multiple entries. All right, so the point of this call is just to tell you about this kind of market, scenario where you have this, downtrend, very strong downtrend, and before the London session, you're just seeing a kind of a break of structure. Then the London trader starts pushing it back up inside that structure. Okay, now knowing that that is a downtrend, within your trend line, you're seeing that, oh, this market has broken trend line, you want to retest, and you see how the market just gives you those points of entry, suiting your retail bias. Okay, now look at it. Breaks above here, comes back here, retest. Are you seeing the retest on this point? Then you see the bullish move. Now traders are already entering, like, wow, the market is about to start buying. Boom, you get trapped. Smart money traders are getting off, as in entering the trade off at this point and trading it down. Meanwhile, you are, placing your buy orders from here, and you get, knocked out from this point. All right, so that's it about USDJPY, the trade I called for the sell today. So this is just a very clean setup. This thing happens over and over. I have so many other ways we can actually interpret the market and know where the market is going. It comes with a whole lot of practice, and it doesn't just come overnight. So after now, just make sure you go through this video. Try to practice it over and over. It doesn't just happen overnight. It took me time. It took me months of constant practice to get this concept right. So you can't just get the smart money concept without practicing. Okay. All right. So don't forget to click the subscribe button on this channel. More videos are coming your way. All right. Take care. Have a great week ahead. Bye.